the polls have closed in South Carolina. Hillary Clinton is the winner. As we told you from the get-go of this live coverage, she will win instantly, and she did. So you don't have to wait for projections and all the precincts to report, because once you've got exit polls that are clear enough with a lead as big as Hillary Clinton will have in South Carolina, you can call it instantly. So it is called within the first 10 seconds here of this election. Hillary Clinton has won South Carolina. So later we'll find out the exact spread. Did she win by 15, 20, 25? We'll see. So her crowd is jubilant. They're over there, and at some point, Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders will give speeches. We'll cover those for you guys. So
I just wanted to jump in with one thing. So in South Carolina, according to one poll that we saw, about 61% of the voters were black. And so Hillary in certain states does better with black voters than Bernie Sanders does, which I always find interesting, because I think that that's an example of the media kind of failing us, right? Because if the media did a good job in covering the different policies that Bernie Sanders has pushed for versus Hillary Clinton pushed for, you'd see that, Hillary Clinton doesn't have a clear record when it comes to looking out for minorities, especially black voters. There was this picture that was released by the Chicago Tribune, I believe, of Bernie Sanders getting arrested at 21 years old because he was part of the civil rights movement, okay? And it's consistent, decade after decade. He's never really changed his positions on minorities and protecting them and pushing for their rights. At the same time, you have Hillary Clinton and that whole debacle of what she said about predators. Is that what she referred to?
Predators.
Super predators. Okay. I mean, her record isn't as clear. And again, it's a failure of the media, because if black voters think, oh, Hillary's going to look out for us more than Bernie is, they're unfortunately wrong. That's not necessarily true. I don't think that she's going to be terrible toward black voters. I don't even think she's going to do anything that's going to harm them. I'm just curious which person they think is going to push for equal rights more. And I would argue that it would be Bernie Sanders.
Yeah, and so Hillary Clinton did work for the Children's Defense Fund early on, and there are certainly parts of her record and Bill Clinton's record that are far more sympathetic to African Americans, obviously, than the Republicans were. Were they the most progressive Democrats? Not remotely. That's just not true, right? So Bill Clinton very much ran on and bragged about being tough on crime. Tough on crime, unfortunately, was not tough on all criminals. It was disproportionate. So the famous example that's used is that white people and black people smoke marijuana at the same exact rate, according to many studies done in the country. But blacks are arrested at 4 times the rate for the same exact drug usage. So that being tough on criminals was partly just being tough on the black community. And so if you were part of the people who did that and you passed the crime bill that instituted 3 strikes law, well, that's not a very great record on African Americans. And then they say, look, we did great for the unemployment rate for African Americans during the Clinton era. True. But that's partly because people in prison are not counted towards the unemployment numbers. So there's so many black Americans put into prison that it lowered the unemployment rate for blacks. Now, that's not the only thing that lowered it. They also did have a very good economy. You got to be fair about all this, right? So honestly, it's a mixed record, right? And there's a lot more on both sides. You could read Michelle Alexander for more devastating facts about welfare reform and the language that was used around African Americans. I don't know why nobody ever brings this up. I mean, maybe because it's not on Hillary Clinton, because it was Bill Clinton who did it. But remember his Sister Soldier moment?
Oh, yeah, that was the big thing.
Right, where he came out and yelled at African American. Yeah, African American.
That was his pull your pants, the Bill Cosby moment. Pull your pants up, turn your hat around.
She's an African American rapper, and he yelled at her, and everybody's like, "Oh, that's so bold." And so,
because he went against his base.
That's right. So hitting African Americans was partly a way they showed how centrist they were. Now, again, at the same time, especially in the second term, at different times, they did good things for African Americans that Republicans wouldn't have done in a million years. So, but that is clearly a mixed record. And Bernie Sanders, by the way, does not have a mixed record. He's almost never done anything that's hurt the African American community. To be fair, by the way, he also voted for that same bill that the Clintons pushed for. Okay, so that's at least one mark against Bernie Sanders. Okay, But outside of that, he's had a stellar record, fought for civil rights for 40 years, and fought for it outside of politics and inside politics. So for the African American community to so disproportionately support Hillary Clinton, well, I mean, everybody gets to vote their own way, but it appears to us that they might not have the full record. Now, there are a lot of African Americans right now trying to inform them on the full record. Black Lives Matter activists, Killer Mike, Cornel West, Michelle Alexander,
Lee.
Benjamin Jealous, Spike Lee, so many others saying, whoa, 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 you should actually take a real look at Bernie Sanders' record and Hillary Clinton's record, right? But right now, either they have and have ignored it, or they haven't had an opportunity yet. So in South Carolina, Hillary Clinton won easily, it appears, because of the African American vote, right? Now, will that hold in later states? If it does, she'll have a monumental advantage that might be too hard to overcome. And it's a little frustrating because it's an advantage not exactly earned, right? But it's on Bernie Sanders' job to fight back against that. He's the one running against her, and he's got to get over that hill. And if he can't do it, well, then he's likely going to lose.